Is there anyone here wishing to address the public hearing proposed amendment to section 11-1001 of municipal zoning code? Is anyone here to speak on the public hearing? Not? Well, that public hearing closed. Now I'll call over the regular scheduled meeting of the Kingston Century Club. I'd like to ask everyone to stand. Oh my God. All right, I'll call to order the regular meeting of the Kingston City Council tonight. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. Mr. Brown, will you lead us in the Mr. Griffiths, will you lead us in the
Heavenly Father, once again, we come to you with grateful hearts. Thank you for an opportunity to live in a country that allows us to meet here as a body to make the decisions for the citizens of Kingston. We ask that you be with us and appreciate these fine young men and young women that we're going to recognize here tonight. Be with them in their future endeavors and be with this council as we go forward, and hopefully that all of our minds are set together as for one speed as to how to make the citizens of Kingston a more enjoyable place to live and a place that we will all be proud of. But most of all, we want to give you thanks for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins, and we will give you praise every day. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lucy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Brown.
Present.
Councilmember Childs.
Present.
Councilmember Griffiths.
Present.
Vice Mayor Humphries. Present. Councilmember Stockton. Present. Councilmember Wright. Present. Mayor Neal.
Present. Do you hear a motion to approve the previous amendments as written?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. You see any corrections or deletions to the minutes?
No.
Anyone? Madam Clerk, call the roll on minutes, please.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Childs.
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries.
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton.
Yes.
Councilmember Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Neal. Aye. 7-9.
I've got a couple of proclamations to issue. So first one I'm going to issue is I'm going to ask the golf teams to come in front of us. All right. So whereas the city of Kingston is the county seat of Rowan County, Tennessee, and whereas the city of Kingston wishes to honor the Kingston boys and girls golf teams, and whereas the Kingston boys and girls golf teams are their team that represent the city of Kingston, hereby set aside number 10 in honor of these teams in recognition of accomplishments as follows. The boys finished the season with a record of 50-10-2, and girls with a record of 37-5. Both won the District 3 championship. Both won the Region 2 championship. Will Bacon, Briley Krause, and Kayla Lane all finished in the top 10 in the state tournament and received all-state honors. The boys finished the season as the Tennessee Division 1A state champions for the second year in a row and fourth overall, becoming the school with the most championships in Division 1A of all time. The girls finished runner-up for the first time in school history. Change that. Members of the team include Ethan Arnson, Eli Backus, Will Bacon, Alex Chandler, Caden Gurney, Braden Hart, John Howell, Parker Jones, Will Meduski, Miles Dullins, and Blake Woody. The girls with Bryant Klaus, Katie Lane, Montana Powell, and Brooke Mullins. Head coach is Mike Neal and assistant Landon Hart. Whereas the city of Kingston wishes to thank the boys and girls golf teams for their contribution to the city and for setting an example of excellence for the citizens of Kingston. Therefore, I, Timothy Neal, Honorable Mayor of the city of Kingston, do hereby proclaim the 10th day of November Kingston Golf Day. All citizens are urged to acknowledge the contribution to our city. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to put in there. Also, Coach Neal was recognized by the TWSAA as the state coach of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. Whereas the history and culture of our great nation has been significantly influenced by American Indians and Indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of American Indians to the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today, and whereas their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of the rich legacy throughout the United States. Whereas Native American Awareness Week began in 1976 and recognized by expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month. Whereas in honor of National American Indian Heritage Month, community celebrations as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. Now therefore be it resolved, we the City of Kingston, Tennessee do hereby proclaim November 2022 as National American Indian Heritage Month and encourage its citizens to observe this month with the appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Is there anyone else wishing to speak with the council? Seeing none, we'll go on to reports. Start with Mr. Griffiths. Do you have anything to report?
No, I talked to Barbara there tonight, and she said everything's going well with it. They're just getting prepared for Christmas programs coming up.
Mr. Wright, do you have anything? Mr. Brown?
No, sir.
Ms. Stockton?
Well, I'd just like to thank all the veterans in Rome County and Kingston for all their service. And I know it's a day early, but opportunity to say it tomorrow. And just thank you for all their service and sacrifice.
Mr. Childs, do you have anything? No, sir. Ms. Humphries?
Just the park and rec stuff. As I mentioned last week, we had a really successful Fall Fest. We're still preparing for the Christmas Bazaar. That's going to be the 26th from 11 to 3:30, and the parade on the 28th at 7. And just on a side note, I'd like to give a special thanks to Rockwood Electric, to Kendall Bear, and to Larry Brackett. They have worked really hard to try to get everything ready for the Christmas lights. As y'all know, last year we weren't able to get all the lights up that we bought because there was some stuff needed to be done from REU, but Tim Clark and I met with them a couple months ago, and they've worked really hard to get it all done. So according to Tim, everything's a go, and hopefully if everything's a go with the bucket truck, they're going to start putting them up next week.
The only thing I've reported is, of course, we're having a meeting on Thursday night instead of Tuesday night because of the election, that Mr. Childs and Ms. Cresswell and Mr. Bredwell were elected to the City Council. So we'll look forward to working with them in the next year. All right, that's all I have. Mr. City Manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things here in addition to my written report. Just want to give you an update. We recently put our fire truck up for sale on Gov Deals. That sold. It brought $20,000. So we thought that was pretty good for a nearly 20-year-old truck. But we're happy to have that done. Sold some other things and just went back and looked. Had Kelly pull a report of our sales to date since we started using Gov Deals, and we've sold $335,000 worth of surplus material. That's money that's come back to the city. So I thought that was a pretty impressive number. You saw the email I sent out about the TOSHA findings. We were inspected. They had found findings in Public Works and at the library. I think there were 3 or 4 apiece. Of course, we know that they're always going to find something. Most of them are minor, pretty easy fixes. So I'm going to be meeting with Tim and Barbara next week to get a plan together to get all those resolved so we can report back to TOSHA on that. An update on our ARC grant. We're working through now the various required notifications that we have to send out to some of the Native American tribes and other entities that we're required to notify. They have 30 days minimum to respond. And until that deadline's up, we can't proceed with anything else. So that's where that will be sitting for the next month. Then once that's done, we can start getting into more work. Also on the SDP project, get some questions about that. And as you saw in the email the other day, we're in the process of setting up a virtual field review meeting that's required sometime the week of the 12th. We don't know exactly when that will be yet. I've had a couple of you respond back that you want to be included in that. If anyone else does, please let me know. It's be a pretty routine step, but we have to get with TDOT and a whole host of people to get everybody there. Once that's finished, then we can start working toward the notice to proceed on the next phases of that, and looking at that still easily being a spring project. So we'll have everything we need to do over the winter done on that, and I think that's all I have unless you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for City Manager? Mr. Brown?
When Tosha came in, of course, that's probably, they don't tell us when they're, did they inspect all the places, or did they just pick those two?
Those two are the only ones, and I usually they'll pick 2 or 3 and go to.
Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. Item 7 is addition of items to the meeting agenda received if they close the agenda deadline. By unanimous consent of all members present.
Mayor Neal,
Mr. Wright. Ms. Wright.
I would like to make a motion for unanimous consent to add as item H under new business, consideration of a request from Chef's Workshop to close Court Street on November 28th from 3 p.m. until the conclusion of the Christmas parade for an additional food truck rally.
Is there a second? Second. Madam Clerk, call the roll to put this on the agenda.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
I've done something wrong.
You know, just to clarify, that was a vote to put it on the agenda.
Yes. Under unfinished business, consideration of the second and final reading of ordinance 22-1011-01, an ordinance amending section 11-1001 of the municipal zoning code requiring a fee to be charged to an applicant to defray the cost resulting from the filing of the application for the change in the zoning ordinance. Do I hear a motion to pass this on second reading?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Ms. Bryant, second by Mr. Griffiths. Ms. Bryant?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Griffiths? Council?
When did that goes into effect after the vote
Yes.
tonight?
Yes. Madam Clerk, call the roll on second reading, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Now on to new business. Consideration of the first reading of ordinance 21-11-1001, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Kingston, Tennessee by rezoning property from C1 General Business District to R2 Residential District. Do you hear a motion on this first reading?
I'll make the motion.
Do you hear a second? Second. Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Mr. Childs. Ms. Wright, do you have anything?
I just wanted to, for clarification for anyone who is interested, this is the second reading for this. This gentleman wanted a reduction in his zoning. He was attached and close to, or next to the R2 district, so this will reduce his use for that property.
This is the first reading.
This is the first reading.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Okay, yeah.
thinking about the workshop. I thought we were on the second. I'm sorry, first reading.
Mr. Childs, anything? Madam Clerk, call the roll on first reading, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item B is consideration of first reading of ordinance 22-11-10-02, an ordinance amending sections 11-407 of the municipal zoning code regarding permitted uses in structures within the C1 district of the city of Kingston. Do I have a motion for this first reading?
Mayor, I need to make a motion to send this ordinance back to Planning Commission for further discussion.
Second.
that not be a table this motion until it's brought back up? That's what I was thinking. So you're making a motion?
I'm not tabling it. I'm sending it back to Planning Commission.
If it's tabled, it has to come back at the next meeting.
Okay.
If it's just referred back, it can come back later.
The more we looked into this, it may be opening up unintended consequences, so we need to discuss a little bit further.
Okay. So the motion was made, Ms. Wright, to put this back to the Planning Commission. Second, Mr. Brown. Can you explain what you got, Mr. Brown? Do you have anything? Council. Clerk, call the roll to send this back to the Planning Commission, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item C is consideration of first reading of ordinance 2211-1003, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the city of Kingston, Tennessee for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Hear a motion on this first reading.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? Second. Motion by Mr. Griffiths, second Mr. Childs. Mr. Griffiths, do you have anything on this?
No.
Mr. Childs?
No, sir.
Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll on that first reading.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item D is consideration of first reading of ordinance 2211-1004, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the city of Kingston, Tennessee water and sewer fund for the fiscal year 22-23. Do I hear a motion for this first reading? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Ms. Humphries. Mr. Childs, do you have anything? No, sir. Ms. Humphries?
No.
Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll on first reading, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item E is consideration of resolution 2211-1001, a resolution authorizing and approving initial funding for the state and local fiscal recovery funds for the American Rescue Plan Act. It's APR money. Do you hear a motion for this resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Humphries. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Griffiths. Ms. Humphries, you have anything? Mr. Griffiths. Council.
If I could just clarify, we had to, by ARPA standards, it had to be titled this way, but just to clarify for the record, this was the discussion about the extrication equipment for the fire departments.
No further discussion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item F is consideration of resolution 2211-1002, a resolution in support of efforts to prevent the spread of invasive Asian carp into uninvaded waterways.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Motion by Ms. Wright, second by Ms. Stockton. Ms. Wright?
Yes, as we talked about before, we have passed one of these before in the beginning of this push against Asian carp. This one is specific to the barriers they are wanting to install on dams, and we are requesting that they start on this part of the Tennessee River instead of Kentucky, where they are already invasive in that area.
Kind of like putting the gate up after the horse.
That's right, that's right.
Stop you. Council. Madam Clerk, call the roll on this resolution, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item G is consideration to authorize the building official to receive of the following lawsuits regarding properties in violation of city ordinances. I think that's what we talked about last week. Do I hear a motion on this one?
Make a motion.
Got a motion, Ms. Stockton, your second.
I'll second. Mr. Charles beat me to it.
All right, Mr. Childs, second. Ms. Stockton. Mr. Childs. Sir, council.
Do we need to list how many of these 7?
That's what I was going to mention.
List them separately?
I was running out of room to get this agenda on one page, but Mr. Cofer can't be here tonight. He had a personal matter, but these will be the 5 properties that we discussed on Piney Wood and one house on 3rd Street. So it will be specific to those. He said he may have some more that he'll be bringing in later, but this will be specific to those 6 properties.
And there's 6 of them.
Yeah, there's 5 on Piney Wood and 1 on 3rd Street.
I just want somebody to come back and look at it and say, well, you didn't do them all. Because if you look at your packet, that's, you know, it's a violation, it's a second notice, it's not as big as it looks like it is. And they've all got different case numbers. If we could include that in the motion to have all the cases he's got, so it would be easy.
And 3 of those will be requested orders to demolish. 3 will be for repairs. So
Get that added to the motion. Okay. Any other questions on those? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Item H, need a motion to close Court Street on number 28, 3 p.m. to the end of the parade for the food truck rally.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Motion from Ms. Wright, second from Mr. Childs. Ms. Wright, do you need to discuss anything else?
Yeah, I just want to clarify, after the success that we've been having the past couple of Wednesday nights with the food truck rally, a lot of citizens approached me and others regarding doing something like this before the Christmas parade and have a gathering place on the courthouse lawn. And the chef's workshop was agreeable, but we thought that the only way to make this work is if we did it on Court Street. So,
Mr. Childs, do you have anything? Council. Mr. Brown.
What are we going to do about the businesses? 3 o'clock. Is that a firm deal? I mean, we've got the lawyer's office, we've got the drive-through for the gas company, we've got Hands of Mercy. You know, I asked the same question the last time we closed the streets. If all those people are good, I know they're all going to be gone by the parade, but that shuts them down from whatever time 3 to 5.
we have spoken to ORUD and Miss Brenda. I don't think we've talked to Hands of Mercy, but
not yet. We haven't gotten a hold of it.
but the majority of the street have been put on notice. The other building is empty currently and not rented yet, so the only one left would be Hands of Mercy.
And as long as all of them, if you got one that don't like it, then I'm against it. Just because if they've got a delivery, I think before we set it in stone and tell them that we've got to make sure we got affirmative from all, if they've got a delivery truck come in 3 o'clock and they can't get in, we're in trouble. And this food truck deal has really exploded. I've been there to every one of them, and it's become a family deal. I've seen the same people there eating as a family, and poor Bruce Robin had his wife on cook on Wednesday over there eating. We sat there together and eat, so it has really gone good. I just hate that we started it at the end of the season, and next week's going to be the last week, so.
Yeah, that was going to be my comment. It's really gone well. It's been really accepted by us.
They will be coming back in the spring.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yes.
Well, I got there at 5:15 Wednesday night and stayed at 6:30, and the Oak Ridge people, the ones we work with, they were coming in, and I was like, I mean, it was probably 600-700 people came through there. That's a lot of people.
There was an email. Did you all get the email about
Yeah.
how many meals they'd sold and everything? So that's pretty impressive.
We did speak to Judge McDonald or Judge Hall, excuse me, and the gas company. Both were fine with it. The gas company said they're happy to help to support that, and they'll have the parking lot there that'll be open. But that's not a high traffic day. Chief Watcham, he's on the board of Hands of Mercy, so you might be able to speak to.
I'll talk to him. I'm sure there will not be a problem.
The only courthouse would be the only issue because of parking.
Well, we already shut down that parking on Wednesdays, and it has not been an issue yet.
Oh, in the courthouse parking lot?
There's no need to park.
No, I mean, are you, what are you talking about, the parking?
Probably for people to park.
Oh, well, I mean,
Well, I mean,
people will
it's
park where they
not where
need
they
to
can.
park.
They're going, I think what he's getting at, if they work at the courthouse and they park there, they're not going to move their vehicle before 4:30, so what we do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's generally,
There's probably cars sitting in there that we don't know who they are. That's, unless you block it off, and that may be the reason that you block it off. Are they going to try to start serving at 3 o'clock or?
Well,
Start at 4.
they're going to do their same time, 4 to 7,
Okay.
but that just gives them
Gives them time to
logistically
set
time
it.
to set it, right?
Shut it down,
That's right.
get people out of the way and stuff.
And
Because
there,
at first I was confused too, because when I had 3 on there, I was like, wait a minute, it's usually 4 to 7, but go ahead.
Chief, would you recommend we close it earlier than that?
I'd say 3 o'clock will be fine.
Okay,
We'll get in there and get it closed.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
cars there, we'll get them moving.
thank you.
bear in mind, Monday's a big court day, so you might want to post signs saying that it will be closed at 3 o'clock unless you have somebody in there in court and they get delayed.
usually
I
probably.
think the
It's
big
usually
day.
out.
I think it'd be also.
It's a big day Tuesday now, and Monday.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually.
Yeah.
We could go down early that morning and put cones in the parking spots.
As soon as somebody pulls out, if there's anybody in there, throw a
So while we're on this, I have noticed the parking spaces that we no longer allow people to park in, people seem to be parking in them. And another thing that I noticed, and I know everything costs money, but we are in dire need of crosswalks at both of those intersections for Court Street and Third Street. What is that? I always get confused. Either way, there are 0 crosswalks, and we've done well so far, but it would be great to have some kind of place for people to know where they should walk, because we're not closing traffic, so.
And I think it's something we can look into, Tim can take care of that.
I was at a meeting yesterday with Tim and mentioned it to him. He said he'd take care of it.
Okay, good, great.
No further discussion on that, Madam Clerk, call the roll, closing Court Street for food truck.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Childs?
Yes.
Councilmember Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Humphries?
Yes.
Councilmember Stockton?
Yes.
Councilmember Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
So that's the end of the agenda, so this meeting's adjourned. Let's see if I can get this one right. I'm going to call the regular scheduled meeting of the Kingston Beer Board to order. Madam Clerk, you please call the roll.
Member Brown?
Present.
Member Childs?
Present.
Member Griffiths?
President.
Vice Chair Humphries?
President.
Member Stockton?
Present.
Member Wright?
Present.
Chairman Neal?
Present. To hear a motion to approve the previous minutes. Motion by Mr. Brown, second by Mr. Childs. Any corrections, deletions? I think they've been the same for several months now. Madam Clerk, call the roll on the previous minutes.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Yes.
Member Stockton?
Yes.
Member Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Meeting is adjourned. No new business. Then we'll go into the regular scheduled meeting of the Kingston Water Board. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll.
Member Brown?
President.
Member Childs?
Present.
Member Griffiths?
President.
Vice Chair Humphries?
President.
Member Stockton?
Present.
Member Wright?
Present.
Chairman Neal?
Present. Do we have a motion to approve the previous minutes as written?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Griffith, second by Ms. Humphries. You see any corrections or deletions to the minutes? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Yes.
Member Stockton?
Yes.
Member Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Do we have any citizens wishing to address the water board tonight? Seeing none, we'll go right into the utility director's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just or Mr. Chairman, I guess I was the mayor in the wrong meeting. But just a couple quick things in addition to my written report. I get some questions about the project, the sewer extension to Casey's. That's moved along fine. They're in the design and survey phase on that now. So everything is moving. We have a little apprehension about the availability of material, but we have a little time to hopefully try to get that, to find it. But other than that, everything's moving well. And the just a report on the transition. As you all know, we've had a transition at the water plant. That's going well. We're in the process of, or getting ready to start the process of interviewing for 2 positions, one in distribution and one at the plant. But everything, so we're down to 3 operators, but everything's going well. John's doing a great job, so nothing bad to report there. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for the utility director? Seeing none, we have 2 items for business tonight. Consideration of request for extension of sewer services on Ward Road. I have motion to extend the sewer line.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Child. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Humphries. Mr. Childs.
I think they deserve to have it put in. Been paying city taxes and stuff, a lot of stuff for a period of time it's been there.
Ms. Humphries, you have anything?
Agreed.
Members, you have anything?
I need some clarification. Our road list has Ward Lane on it. Is it the same as Ward Road?
Yes, I would say Ward Lane is a type.
And do we know if all of that road, or how many feet of that road is public or private? On our road list, it has it as 1,200 feet long. I just want to make sure.
I don't know how to explain it in length, but if you drive it, you can see where the pavement changes. You can see where ours stops, and I think it's about the last house or just before the last house. In fact, I think there was or maybe still a gate there, but you can see where our road stops. It's pretty obvious.
So we won't be, this wouldn't be extending onto a private road?
No, there won't be no easements will be required additional than what we already have.
And do we have any dedication from people on that road that are going to hook up to it currently?
They don't have a choice. I mean, they might hook up, but...
Well, I mean, committed to tapping.
I don't know if we do on that one. There aren't that many people. There's 3 or 4 houses on that.
But nobody's committed to tapping onto that,
The one that was,
just the one.
yeah, I think he's close to the end of the road.
There's one, the gentleman that made the request, and then there's another one of the homeowners is a family member, a child or something.
That's on his,
So, yeah, possibility of seven new customers that will have all.
But once they have an issue with their, the existing sewer system, the state's not wanting to,
Won't allow them to.
won't allow to.
well, I know that, but I just wish we had more people wanting to and committing to tapping onto that $12,000 line, $11,000 line. But that's just questions I have.
Mr. Brown?
If the next one passes, we talked about in the work session about this doesn't start tomorrow, the next day, the next day. What's your time frame on this one in your motion?
Well, the reason we put both of them on, and to your point, I mean, if the board wants us to, we can pull that one out and survey the homeowners, whatever you all want us to do. The reason we went ahead and put both of them on here, you raised a good point, and we've seen it with the Casey's project, is the availability of material, also the price going up.
Yeah.
We'd like to go ahead and at least get the material ordered.
If we don't use it on these projects, we'll still have that material for a project. If something comes up and we don't do it.
Yeah, well, I think the intent certainly to do them when we know there's a need there, but it may be 6-8 months before we even get the material, but at least we can get it ordered.
And we have a water line already there,
Yes.
all the way up the road?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay.
On which one? On Ward Road? Now, he had to run his own from, I don't know how many feet it was.
So he's already paid to run his
He paid
water line?
$3,000 to have his water line, what he was telling us that night, up to his house.
It stops at a certain, wherever it stops, he connected, his house is at the end of the road.
Okay.
So he basically has a long service line
Right.
to tie into us, but.
Okay, all right.
And what other services, I heard you say he paid taxes and he needs it and this kind of stuff. What other services have we not rendered to this road?
We've done everything that we called for in the original plan of services.
Even as it currently is, we were abiding.
Correct. The only mistake that happened that was brought to our attention, and it wasn't our mistake, was
Emergency.
an emergency call that was miscoded as not being in the city, but that's been cleared up. But no, everything in the plan of services is being met, so.
The garbage pickup, I think, was one thing, but it would have been on the water bill.
Right.
And he wasn't being charged with it, but they didn't have the service it
Yeah, he didn't have service yet.
for the whole period of time they've been there.
So we picked him up on the.
We picked that up recently, yes.
And I don't think that was in the plan of, I don't think we had.
It wasn't.
So that wasn't in the plan of service when that was annexed.
Any other questions?
Are we gonna put a date on this? I'm just trying to get a pecking order, is what I'm after. I'm trying to get a pecking order.
Well,
That if we're doing this one and we do the next one, we've already committed to one of Casey's.
I would, that would be the order.
Al.
Casey's, Ward, and
Our recommendation would be, assuming we don't do it, but I mean, obviously Casey's is moving, we've already committed to that, they're funding it, we're just doing the labor. But as far as these two go, our recommendation would be to do Ridgecrest first. And
Well, we had the one
those-
gentleman first having the problem.
Yeah.
Have we already ordered the pipe for Casey?
No, we haven't been able to find it yet. That's 4,000 some feet of pipe, so they're
As
working.
soon as we found it, I believe I'd be buying it and using an order, whatever $25,000 is, whether it's more or less, and have whatever's left, and put some of these others.
Well, that's why we had to do it RU, because a lot of the equipment and stuff is very hard to get right now, even power poles, I mean, anything, we're having to
We've
order.
got a big lot to put this on out at its facility.
Can't get it.
We've got stuff that's 9 months to a year out that we can't get.
yeah, it may take that long to get these supplies.
It really could. It could be a year longer, but, even the suppliers are saying they don't know what they're getting until the trucks come. They're not even promising, the factories aren't promising them X amount, so it's probably not going to get any better for a little bit. So. But at least we'll have the appropriation, so when we do find it.
Madam Clerk, call the roll for extending the sewer on the Ward Road.
Member Brown?
No.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Yes.
Member Stockton?
Yes.
Member Wright?
No.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.
5 ayes, 2 nays.
Item 2 is consideration of request for extension of sewer services on West Ridgecrest Drive.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Wright, second by Mr. Childs. Ms. Wright?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Childs? Members, anything? Madam Clerk, call the roll for the sewer extension, please.
Member Brown?
Yes.
Member Childs?
Yes.
Member Griffiths?
Yes.
Vice Chair Humphries?
Yes.
Member Stockton?
Yes.
Member Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Is there anything else to come before the water board tonight? All right, seeing none, this means adjourned.